Laid back Mickey here, and today we're going to talk about the Catrike lineup for 2025. And I have Mark from Catrike, and we're going to go over the models, the differences, and what's cool about each individual model, because I know you have 8 models, and I'm excited to learn all about them. So Mark, today we're going over the Catrike Pocket. I want to know a little bit more about the creation of the Catrike Pocket. Why'd you guys make it? Who'd you make it for? Who buys it?
Yeah, so probably back in 2006, we realized that we had smaller riders. So we were just kind of adjusting the boom to make it, fit for somebody. But it really wasn't the best opportunity for somebody to have a trike that really made a difference in the handling of it. So we decided to design the Pocket from the ground up. So it's made for smaller riders. We put a lot of engineering into the weight distribution, the steering, the braking dynamics. So it's just a nice spirited little trike. It's also a space frame, which we have a patent on. Catrike has 3 space frames. This is one of them. So the space frame means there's no adjustment of the seat. There's no folding features. It's just the frame is welded together. So think of it as like a diamond frame bicycle. So it's the simplest form, the lightest weight, the most efficient product you can make.
When you made it for a smaller rider, what is a smaller rider to you guys? What's it from how high to how high?
Yeah, it really depends on the leg length.
Yeah.
But I would say around 5 feet to 5'6" is really a sweet spot.
Nice.
It does have a little narrower track. Someone with wide hips, probably this isn't the best model.
Okay.
But there's so many people that fit on this that they just love it.
With the track that is shorter or not as wide, how does that benefit a smaller rider?
Well, first off, it's more aerodynamic because you have less frontal area. Nice. And it's just appropriate proportion to the size of the rider. Okay. So you don't want to make a small trike with a wide track. It just,
And so the length of the seat is probably not as high. It's probably for shorter riders, so the headrest probably fits on there properly.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know with some trike models out there that you can't get that headrest low enough, right? And that's the challenge with having a larger trike for a smaller person, is it wasn't meant to be for a smaller person, so you can't get some of the accessories fit properly. And this one, I noticed that you can get the headrest put in properly so that it actually fits.
Yeah.
What are some of the other details for a small rider that they would notice on this trike versus regular size trike?
Yeah, I think just the whole ride when you go there and the way it feels and the way it handles is like a big thing. The size matters on a rider because this is attached to you pretty much, and you got to pedal the thing and maneuver it, so it works out really good. Everything works on this smaller trike, just like all the rest of the line.
With the smaller trike, it's more compact also, so it can fit in cars easier, and for the smaller person, it's lighter weight. A big question is, who would ride this?
Yeah, so we have a lot of smaller women that ride this. It's a perfect opportunity for them. Another thing, we all do adaptive use things. So we work with the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So the CHOP Hospital gets these from us for kids. So it's a perfect trike for a smaller person.
Mark, we're going over the Catrike Expedition. Tell me a little bit about, when did you guys create this model?
Probably back in 2005. So we had 20-inch wheels on a lot of trikes. Some of our trikes had 16-inch front wheels. Nice. So it was a bigger wheel, 26-inch wheel trike. And we were good at making space frames. So, we decided to make it a space frame. We talked about it before. It's just amazing for touring. It's amazing if you're a point A to point B rider. If you're going out for a 50-mile ride, this might be your guy. Yeah, it's really cool. And it's also a fan favorite of the sales team and people in the factory because it's just such a well-balanced, perfect trike.
When you ride the Expedition, where do you like to ride? How far do you ride on it? And how fast do you go?
It depends. I ride it around the city, around my, neighborhood. It's super cool. Also at the factory, we have like a 2-mile test track behind us. So every Friday morning, we take the staff for a ride. It's just super fun. On a longer distance ride, I'll choose the 700 because it's our super go fast trike. But this one isn't a slouch either. So it's very efficient.
So Mark, why would somebody get the Expedition over like your super fast 700?
Yeah, first off, the price point's amazing. It's $29.50. So you get a lot of trike for that amount of money. Expedition also has a little wider track. It's 29 inches instead of 27 and a half. And the seat angle, I think, is around 37 degrees, where the 700 is about 27 degrees. So it's not quite as laid back.
Okay, so a little wider track, and a little more upright, but still fast. Great for cruising on the bike trail, going, on tours, whatever you want to do. The Expedition, fan favorite of all the people that work at Catrike. And now we're talking about the Catrike 700. Mark, tell me a little bit about why you created this.
Yeah, so the creation came to we wanted to make the most efficient trike possible. So we wanted to go with the 700C rear wheel. It's like a road bike tire wheel. Yeah. You can get higher speed with less revolutions. Of course, if you're running a 20-inch wheel at 30 miles an hour, that thing's spinning around, so it's not the most efficient thing. So at some point, the bigger wheel has a big advantage. We're using high pressure, low rolling resistant tires on the front and the back. So that also helps with the rolling resistance and the speed.
So what else can you tell me about the 700 and its awesomeness?
Yeah, so it's laid back. We like laid back cycles, right?
Yeah, I love it.
So it's 27 degrees, super aerodynamic, got a nice higher bottom bracket so your feet are kind of in front of your body. Yeah. Helps with the airflow quite a bit. Narrower track, 27.5 inches. We put a through axle in the back, which gives a lot of lateral stiffness. Every Catrike, which we haven't talked about, has the piece boom. So there's structure in the boom, and we have a patent on that. So it's not just a round tube, it has webbing in there. So as you push on the pedals, and it's kind of a cantilever design, there's hardly any flex that goes in that. So that's basically puts power into your back wheel, so you're not losing as much energy.
To give the maximum power from the cranks all the way to the back wheel, the boom is specially designed so that it's more rigid, so it transfers the energy all the way back to the 700 wheel with the through axle to make sure that it has that good back and forth rigidity so you're not shifting easily.
Exactly right.
And I figure the space frame is the same thing. Since there's not a bunch of quick releases and other thinner components, holding the seat up, is making a nice rigid frame as well.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Yeah, and also it's, so laid back. We call it a vertebrae frame, so there's an extra cross member in there in the seat that makes it more rigid, so a little more efficient. And this is a trike that we use for Bike Sebring 24-hour bike race.
Nice.
We do 12-hour bike race, so we were going, most of us, over 200 miles in 12 hours on this bike. So super fun to ride,
nice.
Super comfortable, all-day machine. You're, doing a century. This is like a really fun bike to be on.
And I noticed over the years you've improved the length of the back for taller riders. You've also made more cushion in the seat, so you're not feeling the trike as much. So you get more of that hammocky feel with a nice cushion on your shoulders, a cushion on your sides. I really dig that you guys did that. So that actually helped out in the ride. I think it's awesome. And if you want to see more Catrike videos, go ahead and subscribe below. Okay, Mark, we're now going over the Catrike Trail. Tell me a little bit more about what makes this unique in the lineup. Why'd you guys make a trail?
A lot of consumers love all three wheels to be the same size. So this has 3 20-inch wheels, which a lot of people really appreciate. Also, another fan favorite of the Catrike factory. This thing is, the weight distribution is perfect. The steering dynamics is just, as good as it comes. And then you have a lower center of gravity. So it's a really very spirited ride. It's just parking lot racer, just very comfortable, very stable at high speeds. And it's also a folding trike.
And this one does fold, which means with folding, you get that adjustable seat. That kind of is a benefit of the folding part of it, right? You get more adjustment. Why do people fold a trike? What reasons are they doing it? And what is the biggest reason they do it?
For one thing, when you store it in your garage or your apartment or wherever you are, it takes up a lot smaller footprints. Also transporting, I can put 2 of these in the back of my hatchback, really easy when they're folded. Yeah. So there's a lot of advantages to folding them. We also have roller wheels when it's folded up that you can stroll it. And then all the Catrikes that are folding or have adjustable seats have 4 different positions for the recline of the back, which is a really cool feature. So you can tune it based on the way you like to ride and the position you're in.
Nice, yeah. In my truck, I don't know if I sent you the picture, 8 on my F-150, 2 went in the back extended cab, and 4 folded in my 5-foot bed, and 2 on an alpaca rack. So you can fit a lot of folded trikes in a compact area. Who do you find getting this sportier trike?
Yeah, it's just whatever you feel comfortable with. This is a little lower to the ground than the 559, and it, like I said, it's got 320-inch wheels.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, the way you want to ride, how far you're riding, what type of riding you're doing. It's just a different ride than every other trike we have.
People go like, what should I get, a 20-inch wheel or 26-inch wheel? You got to think also about your transportation, because a 20-inch wheel will fit into smaller vehicles. A 26-inch wheel unfolded will still fit in like an SUV. The trail will fit into smaller vehicles. And it's easy to keep only one tire with you, and it's fast and sporty. So now let's talk a little bit about eCATs. eCATs are cat trikes with Bosch motor systems on them. And so Mark, tell me a little bit about when, where, and how you started to get into motorizing trikes.
As times changed, there became more and more e-bikes. We did a ton of research to find out what the best product that worked on our cat trikes. And we came across Bosch, did an extensive testing, and just realized like this was very bomb-proof. We've had no issues with anything. The motors, the batteries are super solid. It's a mid-drive motor, and it also has 250 watts and 55 Newton meters of torque with a 400 watt-hour battery. So it's just a motor that'll work for everybody. And it's also a class 1, which means it's pedal assist. There's no throttle, which I think if you're riding a trike, you should be doing a little work.
Yeah.
This has 4 different modes. So it goes all the way up to the turbo mode, which gives you like a 270% boost. And we designed it that it'll retrofit on every cat trike going back to 2005. Nice. So there's about 50,000 cat trikes out there in the market that we could put a kit on and upgrade it for you.
Do you find people upgrading their trikes to eCATs that often?
Yeah, so we're the manufacturer, so we rely on you guys. So you could answer that question better. Yeah. I know we sell a lot of kits. A lot of dealers will have, 10 cat trikes on the floor. They might have 1 or 2 eCATs, and they'll just have a motor on there in case somebody wants to go out the door with something that you don't have there, and you can just do a swap in an hour or less probably to retrofit that thing on and get them going.
What is the benefit of a mid-drive over like a hub drive?
There's less resistance in a mid-drive. They're much more efficient. They're use less wattage, less battery power. They get more torque with less watts. So the mid-drive is just a system that's works so much better than a hub drive.
Yeah, and so with a mid-drive, you can actually choose your gearing on the back. So if you want to roll off, you get a roll off. If you want the 11 speed, you can get 11 speed. If you want a dual drive, so you have a lot more customization when you go a mid-drive on the back. And so that's kind of a cool thing. I know you guys already come with an 11-speed stock when you order as an e-kit. Now, if you have your older cat trike, it's going to come probably with a 10-speed, and then, hey, 10 is plenty with a motor. So, you're just giving one extra bonus gear for making it up those steeper hills even easier than it is. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the other thing about our kit, which we really worked hard at, is just as we put engineering and design in all of our trikes, is your weight distribution. Yeah. So a lot of times you're putting a battery with a hub drive in the back, and you have so much weight on the back, which can make a little bit of a dangerous trike. Yeah. So with our trikes, with the mid-drive, it's on the boom and the battery's on the back. So the weight distribution is pretty much the same as every other cat trike without a motor on it.
Nice. So you thought about weight distribution. So you guys put a lot of thoughts into everything. And that's one thing I appreciate about Catrike is you don't just throw stuff out there and to see if it sticks and works.
Yeah.
Is the Bosch UL certified?
Yes, the Bosch is UL certified.
Okay.
I know you guys in California, there's some rules coming down the pike that we heard from People for Bikes. Yeah. New York's got a whole bunch of legislation coming about e-bikes. And our products the Bosch products a little more expensive, but a lot of times you'll sell somebody a $1,000 system, it'll work for 6 months. There's no warranty, there's no replacement parts, and then they're gonna spend more money to get something better. So this is something that can last a very long time. Bosch services their product up to 10 years. So you can get spare parts, everything you need from those guys to help you fix any problems that it comes in the next 10 years.
Nice. Yeah, UL certification is so important because it's the highest standard for electrical systems to make sure your trike doesn't catch on fire, right? I know you can buy stuff on Amazon and eBay, and it's cheap. Hey, cheap isn't always better. Sometimes you just want to go better and then have it work for a long time. Okay, so now we're talking about the Catrike 559. Mark, tell me a little bit about when did you guys come up with this model and why in the lineup of Catrikes was it created?
This was a folding model that we didn't have in our lineup before. We wanted a big wheel trike, much like the Expedition, really good for touring. Fits what some people need, the trike they want, all the features they want in this trike. And then we did the folding feature as well. We gave this trike a little higher seat angle, a little height, and then we put the bottom bracket down a little lower. So that makes it a lot more comfortable for a lot of riders.
Nice.
So it's a little different than the Trail. Architecturally, it's pretty much the same. This one's got the bigger wheel, sits up a little higher, is a little more upright, but they're very similar, both folding, both amazing trikes.
You know, who would usually buy this over like a Trail? Why would one person buy one model over the other?
First off, a lot of people like the bigger wheel trikes.
Yep.
Also, the seat height is a big seller for people. They want to sit up a little more. And then a lot of people don't like their feet as high in the air, so the blood circulation and everything. So it's nicer, more comfortable, more user-friendly to have a little lower bottom bracket.
Yeah, probably one of the most popular trikes we sell. And you can get this one with or without a motor. And I would say most people today are getting it with a motor, at least at laid back cycles, because it just makes your ride so much better. You could ride further and longer and get more exercise, believe it or not. Yeah, it's awesome. Mark, tell me about the Catrike Dumont. When was this created? Why'd you create it? And who is this for?
Yeah, this is like our Swiss Army knife. It's got everything. So we put a little bit lower seat. It's not super low, so it's very user-friendly, very sporty ride. You know, we put a rock shock in the back that's totally tunable for your weight. And there's also a damper button on there that you can adjust the rebound.
Oh, nice.
So it's very tunable for every rider. And then we have a patented 4-bar linkage front suspension. And there's a Celasto in there that gives you your different density, so you can tune it for different riders. So
what's that mean, tune it for different riders?
Yeah, so a lighter rider would have a less dense elastomer in there, the Celasto, so that will let the suspension flex for a lighter rider. If you're a little heavier, you're going to be bottom out that less dense one. And if you're a heavy rider, we got 3 different densities. So you'd put the most dense ones on there. Or if you want a little firmer ride and you're a light rider, you can just tune it the way you want it to work.
Nice.
And the cool thing about this is the suspension gives you less than an inch of travel in the front, but it takes all the distortion out of the road, all the harmonic distortion, the vibration. So if you're on a chip seal or a gravel road or something, it just deadens the whole frame. And it's a really comfortable ride for a lot of people.
So would you call it more sport suspension than off-road suspension?
Absolutely. It's made for roads, gravel roads, trails. Definitely not an off-road going over rocks and everything. I think trikes in general, you know, you can't unweight your body like you can on a bike, jump up and down. So yeah, it's designed, you know, for people to go ride and, you know, have that if you hit a big bump, it's not going to jolt you. And like I said, just takes all the vibration out of the road.
Nice. And I love this trike. This is one of my favorite trikes because I rode it for several years. Even though I get a new trike every year, I couldn't give up my Dumont because it's just so comfortable. It rides so nice. I like a faster trike. I like something that's a little faster. I like it to still be sporty. I like their suspension because it doesn't dip and dive. When you're on the bike trail and you want to keep up a nice consistent speed, their front suspension will keep that speed without a lot of resistance. And the rear suspension will take up that shock of those ruts and bumps that you get from the trees and stuff that come up on bike trails a lot. So yes, comfortable and sporty trike. Anything else that is important to know about the Dumont for the consumer?
Yeah, it's just another folding trike.
Folding, okay, so folds up nice.
Yeah, you have 4 different adjustments for your seat angle, like all of our other trikes that have adjustable seats. We got the nice cushioned, breathable seat on there. And of course, you can upgrade it to an e-trike or you can just have it manual and pedal it yourself.
I started out mine as manual, but then as I started to get like foot pain and stuff just from getting older and knee pain, I went to e-assist, and e-assist helped me to ride further again because I started to ride less. But e-assist, people go, it's cheating. Well, if getting more exercise is cheating, yes, it is cheating in a good way. It helps you ride for further distance, longer amount of time, without pain, and then it keeps your heartbeat going, right? Keeps your heart pumping, and we want our heart to pump for years to come. So, love the Dumont, love it with personally an eCAT myself.
And the price point is very, very nice for a full suspension
Oh
folding
yeah,
trike
for
in the
all
market.
the goodies,
Yeah.
especially with the motor, great price in the marketplace. So Mark, tell me a little bit about the Villager. When did it come about? Why did it come about?
We've probably been making this trike for about, I would say, 10 or 11 years. We had a need that people wanted a little higher seat and a little wider track so they could fit on the trike.
Yep.
So we wanted something sitting up a little higher, a very nice price point, kind of an entry-level trike that's user-friendly, and pretty much anybody can ride.
Yeah, now you say entry level, but it's really not entry level because you put the same components on this as the rest of the models. So it's not an entry level trike. It doesn't cost a lot, right? But it is a great trike. It's aluminum. It has the nice 30-speed drivetrain. And when you say wide track, I know that helps, like, for people that may have a little wider hip. Doesn't that also give more stability to it? And do people like that part of it?
The higher your center of gravity is, the more width you want to make it stable so it's not as tippy.
Yeah.
So that was one thing we did. It's kind of proportions. We talked about the pocket.
Yeah.
So it's just a good proportion. When you bring the seat up a little bit, you probably want to make the track a little wider. Yeah, and entry level, you totally called me on that. All the Catrikes are super high end.
Yeah.
We're talking about price point only.
Yeah.
There's a lot of value in this trike,
Yeah.
is what we should be talking about.
You don't have to spend a ton of money to get great quality that will last for a lifetime. And that's what we want, is we want something that is reliable and lasts. Who would ride this model? Who would go out and buy this model?
So somebody that isn't comfortable getting in a lower trike, it sits up a little higher. Maybe it's somebody with a little wider hips, so you got a little more space between the handlebars. It accommodates a wide range of different riders. So I guess it would appeal more to people that like to sit up a little higher.
I noticed that a lot of people that like the Villager or love the Villager, that they want something that's like the height of a dining room chair. It's easy to get in and out of. They like something that feels stable on the ground. Something that has this higher seat, which the seat is reclined more upright than the 559 and the Trail. This is just an ease of getting in and out and easy riding. You still get all the same quality. It's a beautiful trike. All your trikes are beautiful. They just look so good.
Yeah, thank you. Like you hit the nail on the head. Like every trike goes down the same line. It's all the same material. It's all the same component groups. It's the same powder coating. The value that we put in it has less things on it than other trikes. This one doesn't fold. That definitely saves some money.
Yeah, but you still do get the folding seat, which allows it to fit into like a smaller hatchback easier. You could fold that seat down and still squish it in there. Otherwise, it could hit the top of the roof on a car. So besides the adjustability of the seat, I think that the fact that it folds down and you have a Velcro strap to hold it down, I think that really helps out on transportation of the trike. All right, now we're going over the Catrike Max. This has been a long time in the coming. It came out this last year, and I saw this in pre-production, and I asked you, why are you making that? And you told me why, and now it's one of our top sellers. Can you tell the consumer why the Catrike Max?
Yeah, first off, I'm super proud of you, Mickey, that you didn't let the cat out of the bag.
Nope, zip it.
So yeah, it's a long time coming. Some riders are heavier than our 275-pound weight limit, so we wanted to make something more robust. This has a 375-pound weight limit with an extra 50 pounds of packs and racks that you can put on there. So ultimately, it's 425 pounds with cargo and your rider. Also, we did the track 35 inches, so it's wider, and we did a higher seat. I think the seat is 16 inches high.
Yep.
And then we put the assist bars on there, so we know some larger riders, this is like a really good feature to put on there for people to get in and out of the trike. And also these are accessories that you can add to any Catrike.
People that may not be larger actually like it too, because it just feels comfy all around your body and around your butt. You don't have to be larger to ride the Max.
Yeah.
What do you find?
Yeah, it's a fan favorite for sure. Like we do a staff ride every Friday morning. and a lot of people race for the max Emax to ride it. So we all go for a group ride.
Yeah.
So it's just a really fun trike to ride.
Yeah, it's higher, comfortable. Trikes are like lazy boys on wheels. And if you like that lazy boy feeling, but you want to get your heart pumping and you want to get exercise and you want to live longer, then the Max, being a little higher, a little wider, has that comfy lazy boy feel to it. But yet you get a pedal and see the outdoors and just you live life more amazing. Why this model over the rest of your models?
Oh, sure. Yeah, with the weight limit we talked about, we also made a larger diameter cross member on the front to accommodate for that.
A little thicker.
We did a little wider rims and bigger tires to help with the weight of the trike. We did a ton of testing. One of the things was we do FEA, finite analysis in the computer to see, if it'll take the weight.
What's FEA for the average person?
Yeah, it's just like how much stress you're putting on the trike in the computer.
Okay.
So you can restrain certain parts of the trike and then put weight on certain parts of it, and it changes to different colors and say where the stress is. So where it's red, you have to be concerned about that. So that's part of the design process. And then the other thing we do is real life reciprocation. We put it on this machine and we build it to a way that it's kind of acts like when you're riding a trike, and then we put 425 pounds of pressure over and over again until we got to over 2 million cycles. So we knew that the life of this trike is way beyond what most people will need.
That's awesome. So this one's built for a 375 pound up to rider with an extra 50 pound of cargo. And so effective weight total is 425. Wider wheels or rims, so the rims are stronger. And then the wider tires not only will handle the weight better, what I hear, is it also gives you a better, softer feel to the ride, a little more cushion, right?
Yeah, especially at that when you're heavier.
Yeah, it doesn't beat you up.
Yeah, it's just a super fun trike to ride. And this is a trike that anybody can ride. So if you need some adaptive use, anything like that, this is really an amazing trike.
It really has hit a great market that people go like, hey, I'm bigger and I don't want to sit on a skinny little bike seat, right? With my bootay hanging over on each side. They wanted something that feels comfortable to sit on and to ride, so they could ride and get fit, lose weight. I lost some weight over this last year. Watch my old videos to find out more on that. You can buy it without a motor, but it's set up easy to put a motor on. It comes with the 11-speed drivetrain on the rear for the cassette, with a single in front for simplicity of riding. You don't have to worry about a lot of shifting, but it's made so you could add a motor to make it even easier to ride, and you could go further and get a better workout. So Mark, I appreciate going over the full lineup for the 2025 season. I'm excited to see everybody going out there and getting trikes and riding. And if you have any questions, go to Laid Back Cycles, check it out. And we are a happy, long-time Catrike dealer. We love them. You make great trikes. Mark, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Mickey. I appreciate your partnership with us, and we're a better company because of your help.